Good morning! Are you ready to hear your godly play story? All your wiggles out? Come on in. You can have a seat. Alright, our story today, like it has been through all of Lent, is right behind us. Today we're doing Lent 6, and it's Palm Sunday. Let's start, though, by singing our song. You ready? Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Perfect. Let's get started. Jesus was born to Mary and Joseph, and he could already see the crosses in their face. The Word was born a wordless child. Jesus grew, and one day his parents, along with a lot of their neighbors and village, went to Jerusalem to the temple. After their celebrations and their shopping, they decided to go home, and Jesus was nowhere to be found. He was lost. Mother Mary and Father Joseph went, and they looked everywhere for him. They went to the market where they had bought food. They went and looked in all the dark alleyways. Finally, they went to the temple, and they found him there. And he was teaching. As he was teaching, the Sadducees and the Pharisees were listening. The rabbis were listening to him. And then when they would teach, he would listen to them too, because he wanted to know more. Jesus grew into a man. And one day he went to the River Jordan, and there John was baptizing people. Jesus approached John and insisted that John baptize him. Even though John was reluctant, he did what Jesus asked. And Jesus went down into the dark waters and rose again. As he came out of the water, the people on the bank heard a voice from the clouds that said, "This is my son with whom I'm well pleased." And a form, a shape, like a dove, came over Jesus. Soon after Jesus was baptized, he went out into the wilderness and was tempted by the devil. The devil tempted him 3 times, and 3 times he resisted. When Jesus came back from the wilderness, he became a healer. He told parables to teach people, and he healed the sick and the lame. He healed the blind and the deaf. And this is today's Palm Sunday lesson. Jesus went to Jerusalem for the last time. It was the time of the Passover, and the city was full of people from all different parts of the world. Jesus was coming to be king, is what they thought, but they weren't paying attention. Jesus did not come into Jerusalem on a big white horse, but a small donkey, and a borrowed donkey. He didn't even own it. Still, that Sunday when Jesus came into Jerusalem, people waved palm branches, which were a sign of kings. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Jesus went into the temple to teach. And each night he went to the Mount of Olives with the 12. The temple guards and the people whispered about Jesus behind his back. The people whispered that the Mount of Olives was a place where angels would come and come from and destroy the Roman soldiers. One day Jesus was teaching in the temple and he said, "Do you see that old woman over there? She's going to put something in the money box. Do you hear it? No. She put the smallest coin possible in the money box, but it was all she had." And Jesus said, "Now here comes a rich man. He too is going to put something in the money box. Do you hear it? He has so much money, he had to have help carrying it to the temple." There's a big clang as the money goes into the box. And Jesus asked, "Who gave more? The woman who gave her very last coin, even though it was so small? Or the rich man who gave plenty, but not everything?" Then the temple guard said, "On Thursday, we are going to arrest him and take him away." But when Thursday came, they couldn't find Jesus. Suddenly, Jesus and the 12 were running through the night to a secret place, a room on the upper floor of a house. There they shared their Last Supper. And once everybody had everything that they wanted to eat, Jesus took the bread and he broke it and he gave each one of them a piece and told them that whenever they shared a loaf of bread like this, that it would remind them that he is with them. And then he took the chalice of wine, and likewise he shared it with them and reminded them that this cup would always be a reminder of him when they shared it. What was he talking about, they said. He was always saying things like this. How could they know? Still, they did not forget what Jesus taught them, even though they didn't understand. Suddenly, Judas got up from the table and he left. The rest sang a hymn and then went to the Garden of Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives. Jesus wanted to pray. When he was finished praying, he came back to the 12. Suddenly Judas appeared out of the darkness, and he kissed Jesus on the cheek. This was a sign for the Roman soldiers to arrest Jesus. The Roman soldiers too came out of the darkness and arrested Jesus. The remaining 12 went into the darkness. And the soldiers took Jesus away. Now I wonder, you at home, what you might have that you might want to add to this story that would make it better or help us to understand it greater. I found a few things here in our room that might give you some ideas for at home. I found some coins, like a very small coin. In the story of Joseph, I found these gold coins in the story of Pentecost. I found these wavy green things that kind of look like a branch in the story of Moses and the burning bush. And I found this donkey. This donkey comes from the Holy Family behind me. Remember, Mother Mary rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. Those are the things I want to add to this story. Now perhaps you would like to work with something at home, maybe draw a picture or work with some Play-Doh. I bet your moms and dads will help you do that. But for now, we're going to put the story away so that we know where it is next week, when we come back and we get to hear the rest of the story. The ending of the story that's not really an end. So let's put our story away. I'm going to put these things over here, and I will put them back when we're done. Jesus came triumphantly into Jerusalem, shared the Last Supper, the Eucharist, with his disciples, and was arrested. Jesus healed the blind, the sick, the deaf, the lame. Jesus was tempted 3 times by the devil in the wilderness, and he resisted each time. Jesus was baptized by John. You remember John, right? Locusts, camel hair, crazy man. Yeah. He baptized Jesus. Jesus was lost, but then was found teaching in the temple. Jesus, the Word, was born a wordless child to Mother Mary and Father Joseph. The Lord bless you and your family this week, and I'll see you back here next week for Easter Sunday Godly Play. Thank you.